What's up, boys? In today's video, I'll be explaining how I made and used a bot to my advantage in Blackout, specifically for countering greens down in Metro. This video covers an interesting topic, so I recommend watching until the end for the entire context. But before we get started, I just want to say that I'm really close to 2,000 subscribers, and it would mean a lot to me if you just click that subscribe button down below if you're new to the channel. And with all that said, let's get started with this juicy video. It all started last summer when I was getting bored of Blackout, when I had already done everything there was to do. But then an idea hit me. What if I were to make a bot that tells me when someone was doing a lab raid? This would save me lots of time waiting for people to start raiding one of the 3 labs of the map, and it would give me a lot of money. So then I thought, how would I even make something like this? And then I remembered one of my old friends who was capable of coding a bot. Now, first, I obviously had to check the legality of this on Roblox, since it's literally a bot, but I wouldn't really classify it as a bot, since it's not like one of those bots that fly around MM2 lobbies for coins. So after contacting my trusted business partner named Chat, I figured out that this kind of bot was allowed on Roblox. For more clarification though, this bot wouldn't inject anything, it wouldn't use exploits, nothing of that sort. So I messaged the guy and asked if he was able to make a bot for Roblox, since he's more used to making them in Minecraft, which is where I met him, and luckily he said yes. This was good news. I was looking forward to using this supposed bot. So I described to him the details I needed done, and he began working on it. It's a pretty simple process for the bot would first detect the sound, which is the lab's alarm, and then it would read a code, which you can probably guess is the server ID, so I could join it. And the last step is to tell me the server ID somehow. So I recorded a sample of the alarm the bot would listen for, and he removed all other sounds like footsteps and ambience from that clip, and I'll explain why later in the video. I set up an account by moving it to the shipment lab. Because of the environment, I could only pick one lab to track, since if the macro were to try to move the account, there's a chance another player messes up its route and breaks the macro altogether. 2 days after the initial message, the macro part was mostly done, and now all that was needed was for the bot to recognize the alarm and for a way to tell me the server ID. This was also when I realized how worthless $30,000 from lab was in Blackout, since I already have millions, so I decided to track greens instead because it would reward me with something I like more, keycards. I sampled the alarm audio, and he worked with the new one without any problems. As time went on, more progress was made and we were finalizing it. In order to make the bot tell me whenever it finds a green, I made a Discord server that used a webhook, which is how the bot would communicate to me and tell me any greens that it found. It took almost 10 days to get this bot done, and now let me show you the final product. So this first part is manual. I would open the File Explorer and activate the program, and once I've done that, I would click play and load up Blackout. And now from this point on, everything is done by a macro. As you saw, the macro very quickly used the UI navigation feature in Roblox settings to click their correct game mode and then join the longest running server. The reason why we chose this category is because for whatever reason, a lot of new servers that only have a few hours uptime aren't able to be joined. So to solve this problem, we used the sort by uptime category. Once the account joins the server, it clicks skip and loads in. The location of the bot is at the top of the elevator shaft when going down to Metro. I chose this spot because it can hear the green alarm with a good volume and because it's not a combat zone. So during this time, you don't see anything happening, but the bot is secretly capturing the in-game audio and sending it through a filter that checks for the alarm. After about 7 seconds of recording audio, it leaves the server and joins another. But you may notice that it joins the second longest running server, and it will continue to go down the list until the 15th server, which is where it resets and starts back up to the top server. And by then, the cooldown to activate a green has ended, ultimately making this fully automatic. Whenever it successfully heard the green alarm, it would use the webhook to tell me the server ID, its confidence that it actually heard the right alarm, and as an extra, it would send me the audio it recorded from in the server if I want to make sure. So in summary, the bot would join a Blackout server, record the audio, put the audio through a filter, which tries to detect the green alarm, leaves the server, sends me the server information, and repeats. Once I get the message from the bot that a green was being done in a server, I would join the same server it heard the alarm in after waiting in the menu screen, and I would spawn in Scourge with the full AK kit that I prepared earlier. I'd hide behind the wall waiting for the green to end because it's common knowledge that once you finish a green, you're gonna run to Scourge to stash any keycards you got in the terminal. And then bang, I would pop out from behind the wall and kill the player, take his keycards, stash them, and wait for the bot to find another server. This was way too overpowered for so many reasons, such as saving me all the time it took to complete a green myself, saving me from the risk of being countered since I was the counter, and it would supply me with a stupid amount of high value keycards like red and orange keycards. I remember I got so rich from doing this that I even sold orange keycards to the merchant when I ran out of stash space and didn't feel like bringing an alt account to hold them. I used this bot way too many times. After checking the webhook message history, it turns out the bot found a total of 383 greens in servers. Ignoring exceptions like the greens that was too slow to counter, the ones where people were already waiting to counter, and the ones where multiple people were heading to Scourge after completing a green, since I can't always win a 1v2, and that's about 300 greens that I countered using this bot. But eventually this bot got boring, so I decided to take it one step further. I used this in an old clan that I was a part of called Riot before mass teaming became bannable, and some of the people in the clan were getting suspicious about how I kept finding greens for us to counter. Like I would make it so obvious that something was going on, because in the midst of the clan countering a green, I would say that there's a green active in another server. Now, this was around the time where I opened my Discord server, and it was the same one that the bot used a webhook in. So meanwhile, everyone thought it was a totally normal server, but behind the scenes I was secretly using the bot in a private channel. Nobody knew about it until I decided to give my server boosters access to the channel and the ability to use it for an hour at the cost of one red keycard. Some of them used it until I eventually closed my Discord server, which was back in November. And actually not too long ago, one of the previous boosters contacted me asking if they could use it again, which is like a vouch that it was a really good bot. But recent updates broke it by decreasing the spawn protection from 30 seconds to 7 seconds, which leaves their count vulnerable to dying. But mainly the fact that you can no longer spawn in scorched to counter greens. I've gotten a few requests to make ones for waves or access denied since I first told people about it, so that leaves the question as to whether I'll ever make more. And honestly, it depends. Even if Roblox says it's okay, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Blackout mods will feel the same way. After all, it's their game. So instead of making multiple bots, I'm going to take a pause on creating them for now, just in case the mods don't like the idea of it. But who knows, so for the time being, I'm reopening my Discord server, and you can find the link to join in the description. If I decide to make more bots in the future, preferably in the summer, that's where you'll be able to use them. If I do actually make more bots in the future, there will be lots of options, such as making one to track access denied and maybe even one for operators too. Or actually, I don't have to prioritize just in-game events for you to counter. I could probably even get one made that finds you a safe server in whichever region you want. I just want to remind you that the bot doesn't do the dirty work. It just tells you exactly when and where to be. Your job is to actually counter. Think of it like knowing what's going on in every server without actually being there. If this is something you think you want access to, consider joining the Discord. There's a lot of ways making bots could go, and I'm open to making them as long as it's useful and doesn't make the game unplayable. I'm not trying to ruin Blackout, I just want to give people help. No promises though. It all depends on what people want and how far the devs will let it go. Alright, well, that's all for today's video. I'm really hoping this video doesn't get me banned from Blackout, because that would really suck. But anyways, let me know what you think about having bots on Blackout down in the comments, because I'm not really sure exactly whether it's a good idea for the game. Yeah, it would benefit some players, but it would also do the exact opposite towards some other players. And if any mods are watching this video, let me know if you guys are cool with it, because I'm not trying to make my Discord server this whole evil corporation or something. If you found this video entertaining or interesting, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to my channel, since it's completely free and it supports me. And I've never really mentioned this in my videos before, but if you want to support me even further, you can become a channel member through my link in the description. You'll get a variety of channel perks like shoutouts when I stream, comment priority, and more. And who knows, maybe early access to these kinds of bots in the future. With all that said, see you in my next video.